Number 1, invest time in your craft. This might seem obvious mentally, but doing it is often another matter. These days, many people scratch their primal itch to cook food by watching other people doing it on television. Unfortunately, nearly all of the cooking show programs on these days are entertainment, not education, and none of them are on a professional level. Ironically, most celebrity chefs have never worked in a restaurant kitchen even one day, not even Julia Child. Once you're familiar with the fundamentals of basic cooking, there's almost nothing more to be gained from watching television, and it's all too easy to waste precious hours of your free time that could have been spent actually gaining experience. Get into the kitchen and actually do some cooking. Take the time you would have spent watching a TV show about cooking and use it to make something more ambitious than you usually cook. If you've already eaten, then make it for reheating the next day. Number 2, minimize distractions. Cooking time is not television time, or when you make phone calls or carry out long conversations with family members, or even listen to music that's distracting. Try to find time when you will not be interrupted. This applies to restaurants too. Music and loud conversations are okay if you're flipping pancakes at some cheap diner, but not for serious cooking, and especially not while you're trying to learn. The kitchens of the best restaurants in the world are quiet and calm places to allow for the focus that's required for attention to detail. Number 3, practice makes perfect. Make recipes over and over again within a matter of days. Yes, I know you're bored of eating beef Wellington for the 10th time this week, but you need to learn lessons from what you did, and if you wait half a year before you make it again, you won't have the foggiest idea of what it tasted like the last time you made it, and if the changes you made were even for the better or for the worse. My advice to you is never make something for the first time for guests. Learn the dish on your own first. Take time to make it over and over. Number 4, spend money on fine dining. I would say that the number 1 mistake that professional cooks make is to only eat their own food or cheap food. Dining out at high-caliber restaurants is not cheap, but then neither was a culinary education. Lessons don't stop when you graduate. Taste what other professionals are doing right now and take careful notes. Don't just wolf down the food and forget about it an hour later. Keep a restaurant journal. Record not only your impressions of what was in the dishes that you enjoyed, but also how they were plated. If you have a spontaneous idea about what could have been done to make it even better, write that down too. Was there something especially magical on the plate? Ask the waiter to send your compliments to the chef, along with a polite request to know what it was that you just ate. Chefs love getting compliments, and don't be surprised to find a head chef coming to your table to answer questions personally and spend time with you if the place isn't too busy. Number 5, be objective. Don't rely on the praise of family members and friends about your food. These people are usually not experts, and they're socially obligated to be polite. Besides, there's always room for improvement. Never be satisfied with anything. Seriously. There are dishes I've been making for decades now, and I still find ways to improve on them a little bit with every passing year. Unless you're working in a restaurant or cooking for guests, make changes to the recipe every time you make it. What might make it better? Try to see what works. Write down everything you did in a journal where you build recipes. And that is what you're doing. You're building. Every time you make the dish, you have an opportunity to improve on it. Even if you can't improve on the taste, you can certainly improve on your own efficiency in the kitchen. The same recipe that might take an amateur 2 or 3 hours to make might take a professional 10 minutes to produce, and with better results. As one of the first chefs I worked for used to tell me, the more time you learn, the less time you'll waste. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.